They ripped the chair out from under him and let security drag him away on camera. Laughter followed. Phones went up. A room full of elites decided a black man didn't belong at the most expensive table in the building. Headed fight. He didn't shout. He let the humiliation finish its performance. Because in the next few seconds, the same crowd that cheered his removal would realize something fatal. The quiet man they erased wasn't a guest. He owned everything they were standing on. The Meridian Crown Gala was built for spectacle. Crystal lights hung low enough to remind guests of their own reflections. Tables cost more than most homes. Every seat came with a name, a hierarchy, and an unspoken warning. Only certain people belonged. At the front, table 1 faced the stage. One chair sat occupied by a man no one had bothered to announce. Caleb Monroe sat quietly reading a message on his phone. No entourage, no introductions, just a calm presence that didn't ask permission. The platinum place card in front of him showed only 2 initials. That was enough to trigger them. Whitney and Douglas Harrow crossed the room like they owned it. Old money confidence. Loud certainty. The kind that never checks first. Whitney stopped at the table, stared at Caleb, then laughed. "You're in our seat," she said, already placing her clutch on the table. Caleb glanced up once, calm, unbothered. Hell looked back to his phone. That silence insulted them more than words ever could. Douglas stepped closer, gripping the back of the chair. "Get up," he said. Now phones shifted. People sensed entertainment. Caleb didn't move. Whitney smiled wider, angling her face toward nearby cameras. "Security," she called loudly. "We have an uninvited guest." 4 guards responded immediately. No questions, not verification, just momentum fueled by assumption. Douglas snatched the place card and waved it. "No name figures," he said. Laughter rippled outward. Caleb finally spoke. His voice was steady. "That seat is mine." Whitney leaned closer. "Vipe isn't a skin tone lottery," she whispered loud enough to be heard. The guards reached for him. Douglas yanked the chair backward. Caleb stood slowly, hands open, refusing to give them the struggle they wanted recorded. Whitney saw restraint and mistook it for weakness. She shoved him hard in the chest, gasps mixed with cheers. Security grabbed Caleb's arms and began dragging him toward the service corridor. Cameras followed eagerly. This was humiliation served live. Caleb didn't resist. Didn't plead. He let it happen. 20 feet from the exit, every security radio in the room crackled at once. A single voice cut through all channels. "Release Mr. Monroe immediately." That is a majority owner. The guards froze. Hands dropped. Music died mid-note. The room stopped breathing. Caleb steadied himself, adjusted his posture, and turned back toward the table as if nothing had happened. From the stage, Amon rushed forward, microphone shaking in his hand. "Everyone lower your phones," he said, voice cracking. "Ladies and gentlemen, the man you just watched being assaulted is Caleb Monroe, majority shareholder and incoming chief executive." The silence that followed was violent. Whitney's smile collapsed. Douglas' Shan fell away like it had been burned. Every phone that had been recording Caleb now recorded them. Caleb walked back to table 1 and sat down exactly where he had been moments before. The man on stage swallowed hard. Effective immediately, he continued. "Whitney and Douglas Harrow are terminated from all corporate affiliations. Security. Escort them out to the front." Whitney screamed. Douglas tried to speak. No one listened. The same guards who had dragged Caleb now closed in on them slowly, deliberately. The walk was longer this time. Camarades didn't blink. At the doors, Caleb stood. Whitney tried once more. "You can't." "'Tis." Caleb looked at her. His voice never rose. "I just did." The doors closed behind them. Caleb took the stage alone. 500 people who had laughed minutes earlier now stood in rigid silence. He didn't shout. He didn't lecture. "You watched a man get removed from his own company," he said calmly. "Some of you laughed. Some of you filmed. None of you asked questions." He let the silence answer for them. "I want to explain why that matters," Caleb continued. "Your behavior already did." He stepped down. No applause followed, and no one dared. Inside the room, the mood shifted from spectacle to reckoning. Conversation stopped. Power rearranged itself quietly. Caleb returned to his seat. The platinum card lay face down. Now turned over. It revealed his full name, engraved, small, precise, impossible to ignore. No one reached for a phone again. Outside, Whitney's voice cracked as cameras caught her crying to Douglas's phone buzzed nonstop with messages that would never help him again. Inside, Caleb sat alone at table 1. The orchestra never resumed. No one asked them to. Some lessons don't need music. If the story made you pause, don't scroll past it. Like the video, support stories where power answers for itself. Share it with someone who understands quiet strength. In the comments, write the moment you realize the outcome was already sealed. Subscribe and turn on notifications for more stories where humiliation is documented. Patience is strategic and consequences arrive without warning.